Alright, guys, so it's that time of the week. Time for our team of the week for the Champions Cup round one. It was a very, very interesting week. I mean, some big performances. It was very tough to choose, especially with the backline players. The forwards more stood out to me and it was easier to pick, but the backline players was a very, very tough pick. So we chose a 15 here, starting 15, what we think was the best team of the week, and let's get right into it. And number one, easy pick. Ntatoku Mchunu from the Stormers. He had an absolutely amazing game this week for the Stormers. Moved over from the Sharks in the off-season, which was many people said wasn't a good move for him. I've always felt it was a great move for him. I think that Stormers environment is good for any young player or any mid-range age player looking to really boost their chances of getting into the Bok team if they can have consistent performances. And I mean, if Mchunu can play like this every single weekend, he will be in the Bok team by 2026 somewhere. And I mean, he is so explosive. He used to be an eighth man. He used to be one of the best, most explosive loose forwards in the country at high school level and under 19 and under 21 level. So, yeah, he is mega. And if he continues to put performances like this, he will be a Springbok again and consistently as well. Number two, Julien Marchand from Toulouse. Hopefully I said that right, but I thought he was absolutely immense for Toulouse and he absolutely stood out so much. And he was definitely probably one of my first names on the list for this. So Julien Marchand for Toulouse against the Sharks was incredible. Trevor Davidson from Northampton had a really good game. I thought they played very well against Power, and it was a very, very tough game to win away from home against a very good Power team at home. They are not easy to beat at home, especially if you're not used to that atmosphere. I mean, the French teams are kind of used to that atmosphere, but in France, your home game is like your territory. You don't want to lose there. So massive game for him, and easy number 3 on my list. Number 4, Edwin Edogbo. I keep saying it wrong, but from Munster. I thought, even though Munster lost this week, I thought he was one of the standout players for Munster, and he's one of the guys that we're looking to push more game time into going forward, and I'm really excited to see how he goes about in the next few years because he's been absolutely huge and he's just a massive individual. So no, it's good to see a guy like him play the way he did. For Saracens, Hugh Tizard, sorry, I don't know how to say it properly, but he had a massive game for Saracens. The Saracens had a massive win this weekend, really stamping their authority in the tournament and the competition. So it's good to see a guy like that play really well this week, among many other Saracens players who played extremely well, which you'll see coming up. Number 6, I've gone for Paul de Villiers from the Stormers. I think if there's one guy that hasn't been called up for the Springboks yet from these young loose forwards that I think really will get a call up, I think it's him. At under 20 level, I didn't rate him as much as I do right now because I thought now that he's gone into senior level, he's really just stepped up his game a whole nother level, and he has been absolutely mega. He's been huge, and he has just been like a Heinrich Brissot style player. He's been smashing people. He's been doing turnovers all over the park, and I really think he could get a call up next year. I'd really like to see a Springbok 23 that has him, Ulrich Lowe, Cameron Hanekom, and Evan Roos in it, because that could be absolute fireworks. I don't know who they would put on the bench there, but that would be absolute fireworks. At number 7, from Sale Sharks, I've gone for Ernst van Rijn. I thought he had a good game in their loss against Glasgow. He was one of the more standout players, and I think him being the captain already at Sale just shows how big he's been this year for Sale and how much of influence he's making already in his early career in Sale. So it's been a very, very good move for him, and I'm really looking forward to see how he progresses at Sale Sharks, because I mean, Sale Sharks is one of those teams that it's almost like a lot of South Africans go there, but it's like one of those really, really famous teams worldwide. I mean, I remember when I was in South Africa, living in South Africa, we all knew about Sale Sharks. It's one of those teams you just knew about, you knew what was going on there, so it's really good to see a guy like him playing the way he is. At number 8, I've gone for Gregory Aldrit from La Rochelle. I thought he had an absolutely incredible game, and he is one of the best 8 men in the world, one of the best loose forwards in the world, and one of the best rugby players in the world. He is just phenomenal every time he plays, every time he touches the ball. He puts his body on the line every week, and he's just one of my favorite French players. And when he plays against South Africa, he's always doing damage, and he's such a good player. And if people haven't seen him yet, haven't really looked out for how good he is, he's one of those guys that just gets stuck in, and sometimes he might not stand out. Sometimes he will, but sometimes he won't just stand up. But if you take a close look at him, he really stands up for how much he puts his body on the line and the shift he gets through on the park. He is world class, one of the best loose forwards in the world. Number 9, I've gone for the young Imad Khan. I was saying before the game that he needs to have some big performances now, because recently in the Stormers and Western Province Currie Cup season, he's been all right. Like, he hasn't played the way that we know he can play from the under-20 games that he played, and now this game just, what a breakthrough game for him. It'll be such a boost in confidence for him, getting a win away from home in Beyond as well. All these Stormers players will be so full of confidence, and it's going to be really exciting to see how they do going forward. So yeah, Imad Khan, deserved man of the match performance for the Stormers. And then at number 10, another player who played in South Africa this week, but he's not a South African, Mathieu Jalibert for Bordeaux. I think he was one of the game changers for Bordeaux this week. I mean, they were really on their back foot against the Bulls in the Highveld. Really tough to go play in the Highveld and beat the Bulls, and a really good Bulls team as well. And Bordeaux being behind, he was probably one of the catalysts in pushing Bordeaux to go and beat the Bulls from behind. He was massive, and he is one of the best flyers in the world. And yeah, I think he is very underrated. And between him and Intermac, I don't know who I would choose right now in a France jersey. It's close. I mean, in previous years it was always Ramon Intermac, but now Jalibert has been really world class. So I don't know what they'll do there. They'll have to make way for one on the bench maybe or something, but those selectors have a really tough decision to make. And then number 11 from Toulouse, this is probably one of the easiest guys to put down based on the performance he had against the Sharks. Ange Capuazzo, the Italian flair, he was so good this week. He was scoring tries left, right and centre, and he just knows how to beat defenders for fun. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he plays like he's much bigger than he is. Losing a guy like Cheslin Colby at Toulouse and bringing a guy in like him was perfect at the time for them. I mean, I'm not saying he's as good as Cheslin Colby, but he's really filled that gap nicely for Toulouse, and he's a player that they use as an extra weapon. I mean, he's not just filling a gap there, he's really making an impact, and he was probably my man of the match, and he was so good against the Sharks. So yeah, Ange Capuazzo, massive performance, incredible player, and I'm really excited to see how he gets on in the Six Nations. At number 12, I've gone for Sione Tuipulotu. It's good to see him playing some good games. I mean, he's one of my favourite centres in the world to watch. I would really have liked to see him play for the Wallabies, because I think he would be so good. But obviously he plays for Scotland. But yeah, he is just thriving in Glasgow. He is thriving in Scotland, and I can see why. He is one of the best centres in the world, and he is just world class. And it's always a pleasure to watch him play, and he always just gets the job done. He's a real battering ram style player, and I love watching him play. And yeah, he deserves to be here. At number 13 from the Saracens, Lucio Cinti, a massive performance from him, scoring some tries, but that's not where he really made the impact. He was just all over the pitch. Really big performance from him against Clermont, and yeah, that Saracens team is looking absolutely incredible right now. The way they started off this competition, they started off with a bang, and he was one of the catalysts for that. At number 14, I've gone for Damien Penaud from Bordeaux. He is one of the best wings in the world, scores tries for fun, but it's just when you need him most, he's always delivering. I mean, especially for Bordeaux, they were behind. They needed someone to be a game changer, and he was just all over the pitch, really putting his mark all over. And yeah, he deserves to be here. Between him and Biel Berry, it was a tough decision, but I went for Penaud. Just scored a few more tries, and he just, for me, made a bit more of a bigger impact this week. But those two are some of the best wings in the world. They are absolutely incredible. And at number 15, I've gone for the man from Saracens, Elliot Daly. The guy who's probably one of the best club rugby players in the world. For some reason, when he plays club rugby for Saracens, he is one of the best players in the world. He is so good every time he plays for Saracens. I just wish he could do the same for England, because he is such a world-class player. One of my favourite players to watch. Can kick the ball over from his own half, can score tries for fun, can outpace wingers. One of the best kicking games in world rugby. He's such a good player. He can play 13, he can play fullback, and he can probably play 10 as well. Really good player, and he deserves to be here. He was all over the field, and I mean, one of the main reasons for that emphatic win against Clermont at home for Saracens. So yeah, that's my team of the week, guys. I'll be doing one again next week. I'm really excited to see what happens this week. European rugby is back, better than ever. Best club rugby tournament in the world right now, and it's really exciting, and I can't wait to see which players will be in the team next week. Will it be some of the same guys? Will it be different guys? There's some massive games this weekend, guys, so stay tuned. And thanks so much for watching. Cheers.